Hi everyone, I'm Rosemary Miller here with Alan Adamson, the co-founder of a marketing and brand agency, Metaforce. Thank you so much for joining me today, Alan.
Thanks for inviting me. It's fun to be here.
So Alan, we're going to talk about Elon Musk and why he's in the media every single week for something different. Is this one of his marketing tactics or what?
Yeah, he doesn't need a lot of marketing because he markets himself for good or for bad.
So wait, when it comes to X and his other companies, does he need to market those? Because he himself, as you said, he's basically a brand.
Yeah, he's a brand, but he's been lucky enough to invent products that almost sell themselves. The Tesla was the first viable electric car. If you want to put a satellite in orbit, there's no option but SpaceX. But X, or formerly Twitter, is a different game because there are a lot of social media options, and his was in third place, falling into fourth.
But do you think his personal brand is doing more harm than good for his companies?
More good in the car and in the rocket space because his brand is about innovation and engineering and building products that have not been done before and having big goals and delivering on it. So that's what his brand stands for. And it's pretty relevant in if you're launching rockets to Mars or if you're building cars that need to run on batteries. The challenge he's run into is that product is not what matters in X land or Twitter land. It's creating a community, it's creating an experience, and creating an experience is different than building a rocket.
So, what is the experience that he's creating?
On X, well, I think that's
Yes.
the problem. Challenge. He took over a company that had product problems. The problem with Twitter was that became less and less of a party you wanted to be invited to. If you go to a party and people are nasty to you or making crazy comments, you're going to leave. And so when he took over Twitter, there were product problems, and he didn't fix those product problems. He went to the next step, said, I'm going to build a brand. I'm going to change its branding. And he dropped, an incredibly well-known name and iconic logo, and he, created a blank space, which is X marks the space. So he took a product that was struggling and he said, pay no attention to the product. I want to talk about something in the future. And in the future, I'm going to build an app or a site that you can do everything from people to pay your friends to everything. So, he had a different vision for the company. And to some extent, until he builds that vision, he is still marketing the old Twitter without any changes to products, without any brand name, and without any credibility. The Elon Musk brand is not credible in the world of social media. It's credible in the world of engineering, but is not credible in the world of an experience.
Right. But his CEO, she's credible in the world of social media, or at least the media, period.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
why are we still hearing more decisions from Musk than from her?
Well, Linda's expertise is how to sell advertising space on any platform or network. But to sell advertising space, you have to have a product or an experience that advertisers want to be part of. They want to be connected to a baseball team, a football team, a successful brand. But the challenge that she has is that until the product experience is better, advertisers don't want to say, "Hey, you know, come to X and learn about my great new detergent." So I think she's between a rock and a hard place because you can market a service and get advertisers if you have something they want. But right now, in its current state, X, or formerly Twitter, is not an association lots of marketers want to make. They don't want to say, I'm supporting X, so you should buy my product, because people don't know what X is. It used to be Twitter. It's not Twitter anymore. And so it's almost an impossible task.
Right. And advertisers, they don't appear to be on board with all the decisions Musk is making anyway. I mean, he just came out today saying that he was removing headlines from news articles, and the advertisers, they apparently didn't like that. But he's going through with it anyway. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, as I said, his expertise is figuring out how to build something that he wants to build, not necessarily something advertisers want to build. I mean, he launched the Tesla with very little advertising. He just happened to have the first and best product in the electric car category. So he didn't need marketing. He didn't need advertising. But now he's got a product that's broken, that it's a social network that people don't want to be part of, or fewer people want to be part of. And everything that advertisers want. Advertisers are risk averse. They don't want to be connected to something really controversial that's going to upset their users and consumers. And right now, saying that I am a supporter of the X brand has mostly downside for marketers. It's not much good. It's not like they can say, oh, boy, I'm going to buy this product because they support X and Elon Musk, and I love X and I love Elon Musk, so I'm going to go buy that detergent. So from a marketing point of view, or an advertiser point of view, and that was the main source of revenue, as you know. Twitter was making money by selling ad revenue. People didn't pay for it. You didn't have to subscribe to it every month. I mean, there were options to try to monetize subscriptions, but so right now, he had an experience that was sort of broken when he bought it. He's made it worse and worse and worse. He took away the branding of it, Twitter and X, Twitter and the bird, and now he's left with a platform that people don't understand what it's going to be. People don't really know what it is today, and advertisers are looking at it and say, I can spend my advertising dollars on Forbes. I can spend my advertising dollars on NBC. I can spend it on, the NFL. Why would I want to connect myself right now to the X platform? So if he can build the X platform and it becomes an experience you have to have, and everyone's saying, oh, I got to get that new X app because I'm going to run my life on that X platform and it's great, then advertisers might come back and say, hey, we're the proud sponsors of X. But no marketer is going to get up, or no advertiser is going to say, now brought to you by the people that are proud to support the X platform, because people don't know what it is. Right. And if they had called it Twitter, it was not a great association, or it needed to be fixed. So when you think about brands, the product has to deliver. If the product's no good, if Forbes doesn't have good content, it doesn't matter how you market it. So the first step was to try to get the experience of X or Twitter better. And since he couldn't do that, it's my belief that he said, look, I can't fix Twitter. It's going to be a bad story. I'm losing money. I've let half the staff go. Maybe I should just talk about what it's going to be one day. So let me drop the Twitter. Let me drop the name Twitter. Let me drop the bird. And let's talk about the future. One day X is going to be great. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but so don't pay attention to what it used to be. I'm going to invent something new, and let's call it X. So we're in this place now where I think he's given up on trying to make advertisers happy with Twitter or X, and he's trying to figure out what to do with the users he has, the technology he has, and can he build something new?
So from your expertise,
really tricky place.
Have you seen this happen successfully before, where a company is basically saying, look toward the future, look at what we can be someday, and completely rebranding?
Really hard to do because people want to know what you are. And then say, sometimes for startups, they can pitch themselves to investors and say, look, we're losing money. We don't have the products not working yet, but one day we'll have the product, and some advertisers want to be on that bleeding edge. But in Twitter's case or X case, until they develop a product, or rather an experience that people say, hey, I want to be part of that experience, and their only business model is to sell ad space, it's just a question of how fast it will go down the drain and he'll just turn off the lights and leave. Because for Elon, losing $40 billion is not something he wants to do, but it's something that won't make a difference. Because while he's struggling with Twitter, Tesla is doing incredibly well, and the only way to get a space satellite in orbit is to write a big check to him for a SpaceX rocket. So he's making tons of money on his inventions, and fixing Twitter is not going to, it's unlikely going to happen, and it probably doesn't make that much difference to him. From an ego point of view, He wanted to do it, but it's a different skill set to invent a product and to orchestrate an experience.
So, switching gears a little bit, I have to ask you this question. Alan, is all press good press?
If you're only trying to build awareness, most press is good press. But most brands need to do three things. One, I've heard of the brand, so get some awareness. Two is tell you something about that brand. You should join X because it's got A, B, and C. It has to communicate something to you. And then what they communicate you got to convince you to, I want to join that. So awareness by itself doesn't build a brand, but it's an important first step. So he's really good at making noise and saying, hey, look at me. But if he doesn't have anything important to tell you or relevant to tell you, and what he tells you about the X platform doesn't want to make you sign up for it, and doesn't want to make advertisers say, hey, here's a check, put my product name right next to X, then it's irrelevant. So yes, he's good at getting attention. Yes, he's because of his wealth, people watch every tweet/X he says, every comment he makes. But in this case, awareness is not the issue. It's so why should I use X? What's in it for me? Why should I care about it? And until he answers that question, it doesn't matter if now everyone in the world now has an X on their smartphone, and they don't know what it is. It's like any other app. Sooner or later, they're going to hit, let me just delete that app and use Threads or use Instagram or whatever other choices available. So I think this is the final chapter. Could he save Twitter? Probably not. And whether it goes completely away or it just goes mostly away is probably the only question remaining on the table.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Alan.
It was fun chatting with you. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely.